Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. It's time for another Earthrise review, and we're going to be taking a look at Ironworks. Ironworks, of course, is another one of the break formers, as the fans have been referring to these guys. Excuse me. That pretty much gets broken apart and then reassembled into a new thing rather than simply transforming. Ironworks here, though, is based off of a Generation 1 toy, but unlike in the G1, where in Siege these break formers were guys from the bases, Ironworks is based on a Micromaster. Of course, the G1 Ironworks came with a construction yard. Now, a character that was intended to be similar to Ironworks was released in the Target exclusive Micromaster 10-pack in the form of having a yellow truck. However, this Ironworks does not have a yellow truck mode, but his alternate mode does come out to be just exactly like that. Now, of course, to best look at Ironworks here, we're going to have to break him apart into his component pieces, and that way you can see what all you have if you buy a loose one. So let's take a look at Ironworks that way. Now, this is Ironworks all broken down into his component parts. First up, we have a platform piece. This has his hips attached to it. Of course, we also have a blank ramp piece to go along with that. We have his gun. The gun, of course, can also be separated into two. We have a crane arm. We have this piece, which is folded up. This was the left arm. It does unfold out with a little bit of effort. See that he has a hand and a torch at the bottom. We have his torso piece with the head folded into the back. And then, of course, we have two legs with the upper leg folded inward into the back. Now, of course, with this, we can use the instructions to build a construction yard. So let's take a look at how that'll turn out. Now, not as detailed as the original, this new one does form an adequate construction base and has pretty much the same features as the original, just not as molded detail. The original one, of course, had a rotating crane, and while you can't articulate this crane as much, it does rotate from side to side, and it can be raised in a couple of different positions. So it does have that going for it as the play value. Of course, with the original, we had the one ramp on the side that came with it. You could connect another ramp from another toy onto this other side to expand your city. For here, we have a spot on this opposite side, and a ramp-like sound barrier here can be attached to it. And then there you go. Sound barrier can either be brought at an angle to be a ramp, or you can leave him somewhat level, and then he can be a bridge. to travel to a different section, depending on what all else you have in your MicroMaster city. So, we do have a nice use of pieces with that. Now, famously, this version of Ironworks could be built into a communications outpost. With a little reworking and imagination, so can this one. And we'll show you. And of course, here's the G1 version done up as a MicroMaster communications base. But with a little imagination and tooling around, you can create something reasonably similar. It's not going to be perfect by a long shot, but there are probably half a dozen different ways to do this. This is simply just one way. It's not the best, I'll give it that, but it's something at least. But to go along well with it, he can be broken down as well and be made into a weapons system. So, we'll break him down into weapons and fit him once again to our model, Wheeljack. But first, we have one other mode to take a look at. The instructions show the ability to turn him into a bridge. So, we're going to put him in the bridge mode, and let's have a look at that. Okay, here's the bridge, and yeah, folks, I can agree, many of you are going to look at this and go, I'm not impressed, Sparkster. And I would say you're right, I'm not either. But I also have imagination. I also have sound barrier here. And let's face it, there's a notch right here on this one side that he can be attached to. And of course, we have two other modes of attachment. And we got one here, and we got one on the opposite side. So it does leave open some creative options when more of these toys become available. Unfortunately, right now, this mode's not worth looking at. Now, maybe when we get some more and can connect more guys to it, maybe this mode will have some value. But until then, I think we'll stick with the battle gear. Let's go that route. And here we have Ironworks done up as a set of battle gear. It kind of looks more like Wheeljack's ready to go digging in the dirt. We've attached the legs of Ironworks to the bottom of Wheeljack's feet. And since they're hooked together here, that pretty much means Wheeljack's stuck in a stationary position. The ramps are done up kind of as a makeshift shield on the side. Ironworks' torso is done up as a digger claw on Wheeljack's left arm. And of course, he's got the crane unit and the other arm attached as his backpack. So that he has the crane going up here and a cannon mounted on top of it. It looks kind of silly, but I'm sure it does the job, whatever that job may be. But it also, if nothing else, it also leaves Wheeljack's hands free to use some guns, in addition to having his own mounted on his shoulder. So now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Ironworks? I like the way that they've redesigned Ironworks. So there is more play value with him than just a big block of plastic like the original one was. The robot mode, it's pretty good looking the way it is. The construction base mode isn't bad. The communications bay one, well, that was never going to be a great one to begin with, as it especially lacks anything to make the communication antenna. The bridge mode I'm going to reserve my judgment for until later, since obviously much later on we'll have more guys that we can connect to it, and maybe it'll serve a purpose. Right now, with what all is currently available, we really don't have a whole lot of options for it. So hopefully as time goes on, we'll get some more. The battle gear here, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I mean, it looks okay on Wheeljack, but it doesn't come off as being quite as useful as the deluxe weaponizers of the previous wave were. So I think this one's kind of a hit or miss, folks. That's just my honest opinion. Anyway, that concludes my review of the Earthrise Ironworks. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join our ranks. And also ring the bell so you'll be notified when I post new content. Also, please share this video with your friends and share your thoughts about Ironworks in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.